All right, so I've been here before, but it is changing rapidly. I noticed new signage up.
Yep.
I came when Comp first bought this place, and it was basically nothing going on. So I'm excited to see what's happening.
Yeah, we could have had races inside the building when we first bought it. It would seem so empty, and now it's pretty full. You're going to see there's a lot of changes, new signs, all that kind of stuff, and got a bunch of manufacturing in here now too. So yeah, lots of.
So
changes.
has a lot of the shipping moved to here?
So everything that we ship, whether it's an Edelbrock product, TCI product, Comp product, whatever, it all ships out of this location. So we manufacture it kind of all over the country, but everything comes here and ships to the customers from this location.
So there's one thing that's a huge advantage to Comp, Edelbrock, everybody being located in the Memphis area. Some of the best shipping in the world is right down the street.
Absolutely, yes. We got obviously the biggest the FedEx hub for the whole country is here. UPS is big, lots of trucking companies out here. So yeah, when it comes time to getting product out the door, we have an advantage there for sure. So
shipping capital of the world right here.
Except when it snows 12 inches in Memphis.
Well, we don't do nothing when it snows in Memphis.
Right.
Yeah, you might be used to that. We're not.
12 inches is still a lot of snow no matter where you're from.
Let's check this place out.
Absolutely.
Definite warehouse.
Yes.
I love it.
So I don't know the exact square footage, but approximately 280,000 square feet on the floor.
Wow.
So lots of space back here. I mean, lots of big shelves. Obviously upstairs, like I said, is where a lot of the sales is going to be. But pretty much the way everything works in here is stuff comes in this side of the building. So everything on this side of this walkway is all our bulk goods. So whether we've manufactured it or purchased it, and it comes in here, and then it gets packed up there, which we'll see the packing station here pretty soon, and then it comes across, and everything on this side is all finished goods on the shelf ready to ship to customers.
That's a lot of camshafts down through there.
Oh yeah, and that's just one aisle. As you can see on this side, they got a little bit of stuff in staging here right now. I think we actually just got another big load of stuff from Edelbrock here the other day out in California as we're moving everything. But all this stuff is all bulk over here on this side of the wall. Not as exciting over here as it is over there, I guess, but it's still pretty good. So
it's crazy.
The middle offices here are all of our operations people for the warehouse, so they're in charge of kind of running everything in the building as far as, especially what you see to the right here that we're walking up on is all the packaging. So everything that we make, of course, we have to put in a box so we can ship it out. So we have all these tables with all the boxes, we have auto baggers, we have shrink wrappers, all that kind of stuff is all in this building, and this is where we put everything together and get it ready to go out the door. So
it's funny when you order something and it comes in, you don't think about it. It's like, okay, it's
right.
in a box, or it's in a package.
Our transmission pans are TCI.
Yep.
I mean, they're sitting here, they're ready to go into a box with the pan and the hardware and everything like that, and it has to be put into a box. So
crazy.
We do some final assembly here as well. On the right-hand side, once again, is a little bit of final assembly for our nitrous kits, our EFI kits. The shifters are assembled here. We have a laser etcher, which laser etches like the flex plates, all the part numbers on them. So lots of steps as we go through. You can kind of see on the left here as you walk by, it's a staging area for a lot of the Edelbrock parts as they come in
I see
and go onto the shelf.
Pallets of Edelbrock here.
Absolutely. And then as we kind of get further into the back here, I'm going to say it's a little bit less organized right now this is kind of the new. Yeah, this is the new part of the building back here. So we have a lot of the manufacturing equipment that comes in.
All right, the race car guys coming out at me. Look at all these cylinder heads right here. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome. I mean, this stuff is still, it was a lot of stuff on the internet like, oh, Edelbrock's going away. It's not. It's actually gotten stronger.
The statement that I like to give people is, this is not the end of an era, it's the beginning of a new chapter.
Agreed.
And that's truly what it is. Yes, we're moving, but we're moving to get bigger and better and do better and just be better. So like the ProFlow 4 kits, for example, new EFI system that we have, these are actually built right here in this warehouse. So the manifolds are built in the back, which we're heading to. All the electronic components we make or source. and then they come together here. We put them in a box, they go on the shelf, and ship it out to the customer. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff here is all
Right.
stuff that's just rolling in as we go. The assembly area, we'll kind of go back over there a little bit later. But so then here is where we are machining manifolds now. So this is obviously brand new back here. We're very, very excited about this. Big job to move everything. All this equipment, I'm going to say basically 2 months ago, everything that you see here was in California and making manifolds. So we've had a lot of progress in a very short period of time. Massive amounts of trucking and people setting up, and just, I mean, these are not small machines, as you can see. I mean, we got a couple smaller ones, but I mean, most of these things are massive machines.
Man,
So,
this is exciting. I'm seeing all these manifolds over here, and I'm like, quit talking, Mark. I want to go see the manifolds.
Absolutely. We're going to do that for sure.
Oh, the old school Edelbrock valve covers.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like a hot rod tradition to me. You know, the fin valve covers with the Edelbrock name on it.
Yep.
That's cool to see.
Absolutely. So you can see here on this we have basically a raw casting manifold. So it's been through the wheelabrator, bead blasted basically to get the finish.
Been through the what?
Wheelabrator is what it's called.
Wheelabrator.
It's kind of tucked over back in the corner. It's a real dirty, nasty machine. But that's what basically, once it comes out of the cast there, the foundry, the castings are rough, of course. And you can still see that they're quite rough.
Got flashing on them.
But at this point, we're trying to get the surface finish all completed. And then once that's done, then it'll go into multiple different machines, have bolt holes drilled, all the surfaces will be machined, the holes will be put in for all the sensors, and kind of you'll see as we go through, you know, where we get to, right? Yeah. I mean, same thing, but now this thing's got the surfaces done on the back side. You can see that the knobs that we put on here are cut off. That's how we hold it into the machine. You flip it over onto the other side. Of course, the flange is all done, the holes are drilled, everything's tapped, so it kind of goes through all the steps as we're making these manifolds.
That is cool.
So this is our carbureted intake for an LS1.
Yep.
Obviously, you can see that that's right on it. But as you walk through, you'll see manifolds for everything over here. Big Block Chevrolet Performer RPM manifold, probably one of our most popular numbers right here.
I don't know if there's the Edelbrock RPM is like an industry standard. They work great.
They're fabulous intake.
Yeah, they work on everything.
Yeah, they stay nice and cool with the airflow underneath them. They got a dual plane design, so they make lots of torque. Great street manifold, or even a mild race car application works really good. So.
Absolutely. This is so cool to see this being done here.
Right here in Mississippi.
Yep, it's crazy.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, at each one of these workstations, I mean, each one of these machines is kind of set up to do a different operation. We're kind of working on a new deal, kind of what I was talking to you about with the knobs on the bottom. There's a new universal fixturing setup that we have. We used to have one machine set up to do one manifold, or I mean, it could do a couple manifolds at a time. Now, basically, we can have all the manifolds mount in the machine the same way on the same fixture, and we can run multiple different intakes on the same machine. So it speeds up. We don't have to do as big a run on one particular thing, so it's taking some time. I mean, it's a massive project that we've been working on, but we're very, very excited about it, and it's definitely paying dividends for sure as we're making more and more manifolds. It's pretty exciting.
I'm being drawn to this Haas machine over here.
Absolutely. Walk over and have a look.
Well, I know you're still new to all this too, but I'm assuming this is just another part of the process. Looks like they're doing.
Yep, they're basically machining the face on the manifolds on these right here. So it'll do multiple manifolds at a time, of course. And that's really what we're trying to do, is get machines so they can do more of something at the same time. That's just how we get more out the door and become more efficient too at the same time. But yeah, each machine kind of has its own setup. You know, you can see like some of these machines over here, they'll do a surfacing process. We have a lot of these machines, you'll see where we actually have a couple that look really neat where they have like 4 or 8 drills from each side on angles, and they come in and drill all the bolt holes on the manifold all at the same time. It's pretty neat to see all the all the different steps of what goes into. You just think, oh, it's easy, you know, surface it, drill some holes. It's a little more complicated than that. And it has to be very precise so that when you set that thing on your engine, all the gaps are right, the bolt holes line up. There's a lot of things that go into it, that's for sure.
I mean, like this piece here, that's a cool fixturing device.
That's how it holds
that in there.
Because, I mean, we have those knobs on the bottom, of course, that you can do most of the functions, but when you flip it over to face this, you need a different way to hold it.
That's cool.
So, and they're all, of course, they all have different numbers on them. They tell you which direction it goes. And this will typically fit a couple different applications.
Right.
But, yeah, pretty neat.
That is cool. Different finish, Mark.
So yeah, we have multiple different finishes that we offer. We have the black, obviously, and the unique part about the black is that a lot of people don't think of the process that we do to get it there. So we actually do the casting, then we coat it black, then we machine it. The reason being is because we don't want these surfaces with that black coating on them because they need to seal properly. So anything that's a sealing surface is done after the coating is done.
Top and bottom.
Absolutely. You'll see the coating is inside, it's top, bottom, everywhere, except for, of course, the machined surfaces.
Dang.
So,
that's cool. And it looks good.
Yeah, and I mean, black has become more and more popular over the last years, so we've adopted that into not every part number that we do, but the big majority of part numbers we do black in. So.
Small block Chevrolet. I recognize that.
Fairly popular number there.
Popular.
Exactly. And all we do is just add one digit to the last part of the part number, so it's really, really easy. But yeah,
I would venture to say there's been more of these sold than any other one, including the big block.
2101 for years and years and years was our most popular, and still is one of the most popular. I mean, small block Chevy Performer manifold. I mean, those are still very, very high up there. We do have some, like our new EPS manifold is actually overtaken it now, but really it's 2101, 7101, 7501 now, you know, those.
When we were growing up, it was this one.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
100%.
2101 was, everybody knew what that part number was.
Exactly.
Like an M55 HV or, you know, something like that. Everybody knows those part numbers. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I cannot get over this. This is awesome. Like I said, last time I was here, well, you could have raced in here, like you said earlier.
Well, and this, for the longest time, was our overstock area. So when we had like our sales every year or something like that, this is where it happened, was back here. So now that's all moved out of here, and now we're making parts. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, and you walk through here, I mean, you see more and more.
Manifolds for days.
Right. We do some private label stuff as well. This is for other stuff other than just the Edelbrock brand. But it's all done in this facility here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How are you? Me too. That's a big freaking machine. These are all big machines.
So dual quad for an FE.
Heck yeah.
Right? That's kind of some old school right there.
That is definitely old school.
Yep, absolutely.
I've worked on a few of them, and people love them, but man, that's just such a weird design where the valve cover goes over part of the manifold.
Well, I used to tell people the reason why you change a manifold on an FE is to get rid of that stock intake that weighs about 8,000 pounds, put an aluminum one on it that at least is manageable. So that's what my dad always told me is, you know why my back's no good? And I'm like, well, why is that? He's just because I had to lean over the fender and put an FE manifold on a truck or a car.
Yeah, you needed a cherry picker.
Yeah, you did. Literally. So yeah, this is the wheelabrator basically is what creates that surface finish on the manifold that makes it look nice. Yeah. Kind of the first step after it comes out of casting. So have that here, and once it goes through here, then it'll head back into the shop and get all the machining done.
Yeah, there is nothing that looks better than a brand new aluminum manifold, no grease on it yet.
Nobody's touched it with their fingers.
Yeah. No silicone on it. Absolutely. So it's this machine that makes that finish. Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, we got several of them. There's a couple of them down at the foundry as well. One here, so they can just kind of refinish stuff depending on how they need to or how the condition that it comes in. So.
That's a cool shot.
All in different manifolds. So here's the final step. Basically, once they're all machined and QC'd and checked and everything like that, they'll come through here. It gives them a final wash, gets all the chips out of them. They can blow them off with the air. And you can see they come along, get put into a box,
Up into the box,
onto the shelf.
So I cannot begin to tell you how many hours I have on a machine just like this. Many, many nights I was riding up and down the aisles at Kroger, and the only thing on my brain was not the pallet of mayonnaise or corn or whatever it was race cars. Went from a Crown to a Top Fuel car. Bam! That's exactly the same thing as Kroger. So we're right here in the middle of an aisle. I don't know if this gives me a nightmare or not, thinking about having an order in my hand and having to pick parts, but it is a lot of freaking parts in this place.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, once again, all the brands in this building. So there's a lot of boxes in here, but this particular aisle, of course, full of comp. There's some fast ignition up there. Looks like there's some nitrous kits down there. I mean, we got all of it in this aisle, and I mean, as you can see, the way it's all, pretty much everything sits on a pallet, especially in larger quantities for the more popular part numbers. But yeah, a lot of parts in this building, that's for sure. We move a lot of boxes every day, and we got a lot of great people that do it too. That's the key right there, is the people.
I could go on a shopping spree on this aisle, no problem.
Grab a shopping cart and push it down. Just take what you can, right?
Not only do I love the comp cam stuff, made a living with it essentially, but like I'm seeing some fast stuff, which we haven't actually talked about a lot.
Yeah.
So the fast stuff is high end.
Distributors,
It's
coils,
so many
ignition
things.
boxes, EFI, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. Plug wires, all the more of electronic type stuff, of course, in the fast lineup. But we do have our real popular polymer manifolds for the LSs, of course, are in the fast lineup as well. So yeah, lots of neat parts lots of cool go fast parts.
A lot of stuff.
Yep.
Here, some cool fast stuff. Yep. And again, back to the Dentley project that y'all haven't really seen yet. Mr. Jeff Lutz is working on for us right now. It'll be decked out with fast.
Yeah, this is actually something that a lot of people don't understand what we do every day. Obviously, we have lots of part number cams, but we do a ton of custom cams. So to get an example, when you see this shelf here, pretty much everything on this shelf is a custom cam that we've done in the last day or two. So sometimes we're waiting for the order to get full, complete, whatever, but pretty much all this stuff is stuff that we do on a daily basis. So to do a custom cam, we can turn it around real quick, and so if you don't want something that's on the shelf.
So when I call, it ends up on these shelves here.
Yep.
Because ours are obviously custom cams. So.
100%. Well, yours might be a little different because we might actually just
Hand it to me,
deliver
yeah.
them to you. But yes, absolutely. The custom cams will come from the shop that we were just in on Democrat Road. They'll come over here, go onto this shelf. Then when the order is picked, they'll come over here. It's matched up with the part number and the serial number. That's a very important thing on the custom cams, is the serial number, because you could have a whole bunch of 5400-11s, which is like an LS custom cam, but then we match it up to the serial number based on what the order is for. So that's what that's all about. And then it'll basically go over onto this shelf. They'll or down these aisles. They'll weigh it, pack it, put it in the appropriate boxes, and then it'll head out the door.
Off it goes.
And that's what you see all over here is, of course, the packaging the orders, and then over by the doors here, that's where all the big truck freight orders for some of our big companies that we deal with, Summit and Jags and Motor State and those guys. Everything that they order is on big truck shipments and heading out the door daily.
Wow.
Yep.
Mark, I want to thank you for giving us a quick tour. This place is huge. There's a lot to see, and I know we kind of ran through it. There's so much going on, but there's so much history. Comp cams, like I say, I keep talking from the time I was a teenager. Now Edelbrock, all the brands, all the things. I want to thank you for kind of giving us a run through of all of it.
We're very happy to do it. Thank you for coming by. We love showing the place off. We're very proud of it, that's for sure. And we're very proud of you. I mean, I've followed you since I was a little kid.
It makes me old.
Maybe you were older then too, younger, whatever. But no, I mean, it's great. We're happy to have you. Please come by anytime. Like I said, we love showing this place off. So we thank you for coming by.
All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. As always, like, subscribe, and you never know what you're going to see on here. Whatever's fun, we're going to try to make it happen. This was a blast hanging out down here at the Edelbrock group. So this is a little bonus footage. So I've been talking about this wild man off and on throughout this whole video, but I will tell you this. This is Mr. Billy. We set records with some ideas that come out of that big old head of yours, and you seem to do that a lot with not only Top Fuel cars, but all kind of cars.
No, it's just, it's fun. You know, my background's in physics, so trying to understand how engines work.
Sheldon Cooper.
Sorry, no, not Sheldon. You know, I was nuclear physics. You know, no, but you know, taking all that learning about engines and how they really work, and then applying it, it's great. And then you know, you guys have a great team. We'll be able to try stuff with you. You've probably blown up a couple of motors in the thing. You know.
Some of them were your fault.
I did save you one time though. Somebody wanted to try a bank firing order, and I'm like, if you're going to drive it, you can try it. You do not go put my buddy in this thing with 800 pounds times 4 over here than 800 pounds times 4 over there.
Well, I mean, it was, you know, it was one of those ideas. It just wasn't yours.
Right. No, you would have died. So we're like, no. But no, it's really, you guys have always been great. We love getting to do this. I mean, Scooter always told me, he goes, you know, if we didn't have this, we'd have to grow up and get real jobs.
Exactly.
So you don't want to be back driving a fork truck.
No.
I don't want to be back in some geeky lab. And we get to do this really fun thing. So, man, thank you. You're as good of a standard bearer for our sport as anybody could ever be. Your passion is absolutely contagious. You love what you do, and we love getting to ride along on the side of your car.
Well,
so thank you so much.
I appreciate it. I'm telling y'all, this guy's had a huge part of a lot of things I've done for over the 20 plus years, which makes us, well, you're getting a little gray in there.
Yeah, right here, good, bad, and ugly, yes.
But I could not finish this video without having him in it. We got stories we could tell for days, but we would have to make a
extended version.
Extended version, yeah. Exactly. A PGN and
then edited, right?
Edited,
right?
Edited,
right? Edited. Yep.
Exactly.
No, man. Thank you
Billy's
so
the
much.
man. Thank you.
All right.